Hello my dear friends, you are on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 12th of March. In my previous video, I talked about how the Russian army managed to encircle the city of Nikolaev from the north, east, and the south, cutting it off from the city of Kryvyi Rog, this city, and Voznesensk, this city. If you ask me, I would say that Ukrainian troops in Nikolaev are surrounded. I will zoom a little bit. You can say that the western part has not been encircled yet, this part. But I will tell you that there is only one bridge across the Yuzhny Bug River. This is the bridge, which, if not yet destroyed, is completely under the artillery control of the Russian forces. Nobody will be able to drive through it. It's obviously. Information about the very fierce battles in the north of Mykolaiv was received tonight in this region. At first I thought that the operation to storm Mykolaiv had begun, but later I realized that it was most likely either an attempt by Ukrainian troops to break through to the army group located in the city of Voznesensk, or it was an ordinary recognition by combat. In any case, it is necessary to leave Mykolaiv before units from Mariupol arrive there. I think that Ukrainian troops can retreat to the city Yuzhny. This is the city, Kobylevo, Yuzhny, this region, or to Odessa, where it would be much easier for them to defend themselves. Now let's move to the city Mariupol. After a very long battle, the Russian military command decided to introduce T-72 tanks in the region of Mariupol. You see, we discussed this yesterday, that also through the Mangush one column came to the city, and from this road as well. These measures should accelerate the advance and clean up of this area. Still, storming the city under the cover of armored tanks is much easier than storming the city with one infantry. And if you remember from my previous video, we saw that this city is stormed mostly with the troops. And today yesterday they start to use armored tanks, and sooner or later, and of course it will bring its benefits. Now we are moving to the north, to the city of Volnovakha, the south of the Donbas boiler. This region. A lot of news comes from the Volnovakha area, which came under the control of Russian troops a day earlier. In my previous video, I said that the Ukrainian military command decided to leave the city because of the threat of encirclement. But today news began to arrive that the Ukrainian armed forces began to blow up all bridges in the city of Pavlovka and Nikolskaya. I will show you the city. You can see like small icons on the screen. This is the places where the bridges were blown up. And it is very important. As you can see on the map, these bridges are not in the front of the city. You see what this is the city, and the bridges are in the back, like not in front of the Russian forces, but behind the city. I want to say that no one is blowing up bridges behind his back. Everyone is blowing up bridges in front of the enemy, and therefore the Ukrainian army is not going to stay in this area, but plans to retreat even further. Consequently, these lines were not ready to meet the enemy, and therefore I conclude that the Ukrainian troops at the Volnovakha decided to retreat on their own without an order from the headquarters. I think that they decided not to share the fate of the fighters from Mariupol and left the front line. I think that their orders were to stand to the last drop of the blood in Volnovakha. But they decided to leave, and as far as I told, this front line wasn't prepared for the strike of Russian forces, and as far as you see, Russian troops took a lot of cities here, and I think that tomorrow they will take these cities and they will face this river, and then they will stop for a little bit. Now let's discuss the front line in this area. As far as you can see, because of that fact that this region is not prepared for the front line, and there is no forces to stop Russian army in this region. So that's why we can say that the front line now comes from the city Orekhov. There are a lot of let's say not city Orekhov. We'll start from the river Zaporozhye, city Orekhov, then Guляй-Поле. This is very powerful points of Russian army. Then they're going to the north to Alexandrovka. I'm not sure about any forces here. Of course there are, but they're not so powerful and big as the forces in these cities, because there are even no roads to protect something. There are like rivers and forests, I don't know, fields and so on. Alexandrovka, and starting from Alexandrovka to Constantinople to Marinka, Andreevka, this is big road, this is the front line. I think that there will be no problems for Russians to take this territory. Of course, there will be some small problems. Of course, it will not very easy to pass these fields, but in any case, they will face no problems in this area, and Russians will take this territory very soon. Now we are moving to the Izyum and Balaklia region. Izyum still hasn't been taken by Russian forces. I didn't heard a lot of news from today from this region, and I can say that everything is calm on this front line. According to the latest information, after unsuccessful attempts to take Izyum, Russian troops decided to strike from the Balaklia, from this region. Why is that? I will tell you. They want to strike from Balaklia to the Gusarovka, to the Velikaya Kamyshevo, and they will try to encircle the Izyum from the west. I will tell you that there is one small feature in this region. This is the Seversky Donetsk river. This river is not very wide, but this river is very big. And this river goes through Izyum and it goes to the Balaklia. And there are only two places in this region where this river can be passed. One place in Izyum, there are two bridges there, very important bridges, and one bridge in Balaklia. And I can say that there are no other way to pass this river just from Balaklia and Izyum. And Balaklia is already under the Russian control, but the river goes not through the Balaklia, but a little bit in the south. So in any case, Russians will have to fight. We'll see somebody in the south, and they don't control these bridges. They need to control, and they will try to establish control over the cities in the next few days. I'm sure about that. Now we are moving to the north. We are passing the Kharkiv. There is no news from the Kharkiv today. And now we are moving to this city called Sumy. Today we received news that the city of Sumy is preparing for evacuation, and therefore an operation to storm the city and completely clean it up is not far off. If you remember in my previous videos, I told you that this city is very close to the Russian borders, and when the Russians started the operation, they passed the city and they had some agreement with the mayor of the city that Russians won't do any harm to the city and the citizens won't do any harm to the Russians. But later, like a few days ago, the mayor of Sumy told that they are breaking up this agreement and they are starting their operation against the Russians. So that's why Russians decided to clean the city up, because it's in the very back of Russians and they need to have everything under control in this territory, because through this territory there are a lot of logistic, a lot of support and so on. So they need to have this territory under control and everything should be fine here. So that's why in very near future we will see the operation in the Sumy as well. The next city we are planning to speak about is Chernigov. Today I will tell some news about the city. First of all, today we received news from the open sources that the city of Chernigov is not surrounded. In my previous videos, I told that this city is surrounded, but today I found out that it's not like that. Based on this map, we can see that Chernigov is connected by a road to the Kiev. Not even one road, but there are two roads that leads to the Kiev. This one is not very safe because it's totally under Russian fire control. But the road that goes little bit in the west, it's much more safer. But hardly anyone from the militaries use this road because it is completely under artillery control and shoot through. Today, the Russian military space forces attacked the Hotel Ukraine. This is the hotel, the most, biggest hotel in the Chernihiv, most popular hotel. And according to the operational data, it was in the hotel that foreign mercenaries were located. There is no information about the number of victims. Also, from today, there is no water and electricity in the city. Final region is Kiev. Also, we had some news from the Kiev. Today, Kiev has been under heavy artillery and rocket fire since the morning. An oil depot was destroyed. In the west, Russian troops are trying to take control over the Gorelichi. This is the city in the south, on the south from the Gostomel, Bucha, and Irpin. They're trying to cut off Kiev from the West Ukraine. And in the south, Russian forces trying to take control over city Barishevka and over city Senkovka, Velika Stritsa, over this region. The main target, they're trying to take control over this airport Borispol. This is very important and big airport. And this is all the important operation news for the 11th of March. Tomorrow we will discuss in more details all the events for the March of 13. Please subscribe my channel, put your thumbs up, and wish you a good day.